Hey everyone, Noah Nagel here from Offer REI. This video is all about templates. It's going to be long. I apologize for that. I'm going to do my best to get through it as fast as I can. But around this video somewhere, there should be a link to what's called the style guide. I'm going to start by kind of going over what you need to know about that, and then we're going to be putting together an actual template using everything. So I'm going to make myself smaller here. And we're going to start by opening up the style guide. All right. So here's how this works. All of the pieces of information that are going to be relevant for you are in this format. There's a left brace, curly brace, and a right curly brace, and in the middle is an uppercase version of the word. So if I wanted to use the address, I would copy that and paste it into my Word document. And what's cool about it is it will use your fonts, it'll use your line spacing, it'll use your colors, your highlighting. If you wanted to have a highlighted or bold or italicized version of the address, you just copy the variable over and then apply all of your fancy stuff to it. So, that's a very basic example. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all of these variables. You can read the descriptions here, but keep your eye on this on the style guide. As I add support for more kinds of deals, for example, I want to add something for like multifamily, cap rates, that kind of thing, and I want to add support for short-term rentals too. So if you want help with deal analysis or Airbnb arbitrage, that kind of thing, I'm intending on adding support for that kind of thing. So anyways, you use this convention, curly brace, uppercase, and any spaces get replaced with an underscore. So I'll let you go through this and read it on your own. Most of these are fairly straightforward, but there's a few that get a little bit tricky. So this business variables, this is from your the profile on your account page. So this just helps us make it a lot easier for you to get started with the pre-made templates. And if you wanted to share a template with somebody else, let's say you're a coach or something like that, and you want your students to use your exact template, this just makes it easier for them to get started with your templates. They don't have to go in and manually replace stuff. I intend on adding support for logos. So eventually there's going to be a field here talking about logos. And if I didn't already say it, keep your eye on this, because as I add support for stuff, this is going to change. I'm not going to change the name of any variables that you're currently using. But I will be adding variables. So if you want to know up to date what's available, make sure to download the style guide. Nothing really much here to talk about, but I do try to provide, every time there's a number in dollars, like the assignment fee amount, I also try to provide that as a percentage of whatever it's a relative percentage of. So, for example, the wholesale, that's actually the offer. The assignment fee percentage gives you a percentage that you can work with instead. So once you get into the creative financing stuff, the convention is capital C, capital F, underscore, and then the rest of it. While I'm thinking of it, you really should just copy and paste these. The reason is that if you leave off one of the curly braces or you misspell the variable, the system's not going to work. I'm going to try to work on some better handling for malformed templates, but that's how it goes right now. So make sure to just copy these if you can. All right. Going further, let's talk about the amortization. So the system will calculate the entire amortization length, right? So if you put in a 30-year amortization, it's going to calculate every month for all 30 of the years, even if you have a balloon in there. So the difference is that the balloon, it just stops and it creates those balloon variables from earlier. Now, the way this works is you use CF underscore and then M and then the number of the month that you're trying to use. So you replace the number to represent the month that you're trying to use. So as an example, in the owner finance offer, I break it down as a 5-year situation, and this is helpful for explaining to sellers how much they would effectively make if you were to pay them off year 1, year 2 through 5. So I use M12 balance to represent the end of year 1, M24 for year 2, 3, 4, 36, and 48 respectively. And year 5, I just put 0 in for the remaining balance. Like, you don't necessarily need to use a variable for everything. You can put your own name into the templates, not as a variable. You can upload your own logos. You can do all that kind of stuff. But if you did want to work with these amortization variables and have them calculated for you, make sure to make the month reflect what you're trying to show. So back to the style guide. You get some variables that have to do with time. And if you have a use case where there's something you want the system to generate for you, please let me know. Ultimately, the reason I'm doing this is to save you time, and I don't want you to have to replace something by hand every time you generate a document. So if there's something that you're always using, let me know, and I might be able to add a variable for you. All right, so this is where things get a little tricky, is the street view. There's 2 ways to do the street view. There's kind of a fast way if you don't care a whole lot about like the formatting and you're using page breaks well, and that's just to use this text, street view image. The big difference with the street view is that you use a percentage sign at the very beginning. This tells my system that this is an image. It's not just a regular thing, so don't look for a string. So you use this percentage street view image, and what this does is it goes to Google Maps and it grabs a 500 by 500 picture of the house. And, it just puts that there. So if you're creating a template where you are expecting there to be a street view and you don't want your text to get pushed off the page, what you can do is do the second way of doing this, which is much better. So it takes a little bit more setup, but it lets you control the size of this picture. So one last thing before we move away and actually create a template with a street view as an example. If you're a technical person and want to see everything that's available, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm not showing in the style guide because it's just not as useful. You can put in this %JSON or this JSON payload variable, and it's going to give you a long list of everything that we get back from Melissa, as well as the entire amortization schedule. All of the relevant property details are here, but if you can see like the flag for whether or not a garage is on the property or something like that if you wanted to. So that's available for those that want to see a JavaScript object notation version of everything. All right, so back to the street view. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a template, and I'm going to show you how to do street views in a way that's much easier to keep your formatting right. So I'm going to go to File, New. And by the way, if you don't have Word on your computer, use Microsoft Office 365. It's online. It works a little bit like Google Drive. Having the downloaded version of Word is probably better for your experience, but there is an online version of this, and I think it's free. So, all right, let's just create a super simple template. This isn't going to be useful really as a business for a business case, but I'm just going to create something that just has like the address. So I'll say the address is, and then all caps, address, make sure my braces are good. The address with the city, state, zip would be something like this. Address, city, state, zip. And just for added effect, I'm going to make this text red. I'm going to make this text bold and bigger. This is where creative people shine, right? I'm not really one for making this look super good, but anyways, let's talk about the street view. So what I'd recommend doing is go to this website, placeholderimage.dev. What this does is it will let you put in the dimensions of anything, and it will create an image for you that you can download that has those dimensions. So do 500 by 500, and then right click on the preview and then hit save image as. And hit save. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it over to my Word document. This is the full size. You probably don't want this unless it's like the header for your picture. You want something a little bit smaller. So the way you can make the system realize this is where the Street View is supposed to go and resize it is to right click and then go to Edit Alt Text, and then you're going to want to put the variable for the Street View here. Street View image, just like that. And just a sanity check, go back to the style guide. And yes, Street View image, good. All right, and then I'm going to save this. And I'll call it template tutorial. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our Offer REI account. We're going to click on templates. And then you're going to click this green plus button at the top. Hit plus, upload your file. Template tutorial. I'm just going to give it a description, tutorial for using templates. Hit save. Once it's done, it'll refresh the page. And then now we can generate with it. So I'm going to go to my properties. I'm going to click on this one. And I find my template in the list and I click on it. And then it's going to do its magic. And then document generated, click to download, hit download, and here we go. So the address, and you know, it retains the formatting, the color, all that kind of stuff, and uses the size I gave it. I should have said this earlier, but you can resize that. I'm actually going to show you that. So let me resave this and then re-upload it. So it's a good time to show how to delete templates. So if you want to delete, rename, that kind of stuff, you just hit delete. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to re-upload it and show you the resized Street View. Hit save. Back to my properties. Template tutorial. Boom. And there you go. Smaller Street View. An example that you can find of this is the newspaper flyer. So I actually did this exact process for this newspaper flyer because, you know, the regular Street View is just too big. So put in the placeholder, edit the alt text, and you're good to go. So that's everything you need to know about templates. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.